This afternoon, 17,490 rabid basketball fans were on hand here at Market Square Arena in the heart of downtown Indianapolis to watch what was originally a field of 395 cut to the final two. And those final two teams are on hand here again tonight to battle for the 1982 Indiana High School Athletic Association Basketball Championship. Tonight's high school basketball showcase features the Plymouth Pilgrims, now 27-1 on the year, following their hard-fought 62-59 victory over the Indianapolis Cathedral Irish against the Panthers of Gary Roosevelt, victorious in a scintillating 58-57 shootout with number 1 ranked and previously unbeaten Evansville Bosse. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jerry Baker. 17,000 plus on hand again tonight at Market Square Arena for the grand finale of what has been a sensational high school basketball season. The Plymouth Pilgrims of Jack Edison are 27-1 on the season. A winner over, as we mentioned, Indianapolis Cathedral this afternoon. A ball game in which they were always in charge despite being totally outmanned height-wise along that front line. Scott Skiles had 30 points today, hitting 11 of 21 field goals, 8 of 12 free throws. He also had 7 rebounds to lead the ball club in that capacity also. The tallest starter on this ball club is 6 feet 2 inches tall. Again tonight, they'll be outmanned in that capacity. They were out-rebounded 38-26 by Cathedral and still got the victory. They have made some fans around the state of Indiana, many here at Market Square Arena, believers. Gary Roosevelt Panthers have run Heflin 22-5, winning it on a final shot by Ronaldo Thomas with no time left. Tonight's ball game, interesting matchup. Plymouth and Gary Roosevelt. Joe Section, Hilliard Gates, and I will return to Market Square Arena in just a moment, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined at the West Basket by the cheerleaders of the Indiana School for the Deaf. They will proudly sign the national anthem. We ask you to join with Chuck Owens on the Market Square Arena organ as we salute the United States of America with the playing and singing of our national anthem.
young ladies you just saw were the cheerleaders from the Indiana School for the Deaf, located here in Indianapolis. Judy Trojan of Greenwood, Kim Trojan of Greenwood, David Koski of Brownsburg, Gigi Bartholomew of Kokomo, Shannon Maple of Newcastle, and Karen Satterley of Valparaiso, Indiana. They live in a dorm on campus during the school year, the Indiana School for the Deaf. So we're getting set for tonight's starting lineup for the state championship in Indiana high school basketball. We'll return to Market Square Arena in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Simply sensational career at Plymouth High School. He'll wear number 22, a 6'1 senior Scott Skiles. The average is 28.8. He had 30 points this afternoon on 11 of 21 shooting from the field, 8 of 12 from the free throw line. Skiles has scored 79 points in his last 3 games. He needs 18 more to become Plymouth's all-time leading scorer. Steve Phillips holds the record at Plymouth with 1766. Skiles has 1749.
The Panthers of Gary Roosevelt. At the forwards, number 14, Darrell Scott. Number 13, Ronaldo Thomas.
Thomas is that 6'4 senior who had the winning bucket today, averaging 17.9. He had 13 this afternoon.
The center, number 24, Ronnie Bradley.
Bradley is 6'2.5 senior, averages 5.5, and he had 6 today.
The guards, number 3, Winston Garland.
He played very well today, did Winston Garland, a 5'10 junior, scoring 9 points, had 7 assists this afternoon.
Number 5, David Dorsey.
5'10 senior, the other guard, averages 10 per, had only 4 today.
And the coach, Ronald Heflin.
Ron now with a record of 121 wins and 46 losses in his 8th year as the head coach of the Panthers of Gary Roosevelt High School.
Now for the Plymouth Pilgrim. At the forward, number 20, Todd Samuelson.
Todd, a 5'11 junior, did not score today, but he had 6 assists and 4 important steals.
Number 42, Barry Peterson.
Barry is a 6'2 senior, right on his scoring average today. He scored 6 points.
The center, number 34, Ronald Sissel.
Played exceptionally well. Did Ron Sissel, 6'2 senior, scored 10 points today.
And the guards, number 12, Philip Wendell.
Bill is a 5'11 senior, had only 8 points, but also leads the team in assists. Very important there.
And number 22, Scott Skiles.
Scott, a 6'1 senior, 28.8, had 30 points. He is something else to watch.
The coach, Jack Edison.
Jack is in his 9th year at Plymouth High School. Record of 148 wins, 65 losses. He's won 5 sectionals, 2 regionals, and 1 semi-state.
He was the assistant under Steve Yoder, and when Steve went to Ball State, he took over. In fact, Jack Edison has been coaching at Plymouth for 16 years total.
Steve Wilmer on your left there, and Wayne Van Sickle doing the championship game. They got him all right.
We got him right today.
We're going to be all right today.
And as Ron Heflin said, the coach of Gary Roosevelt, he breeds black and gold. The top is controlled by Gary Roosevelt. Number 3 is Winston Garland. He and David Dorsey are the guards. Ronnie Bradley is in the pivot. Ronaldo Thomas and Darrell Scott are the forwards. Knocked away, and there's those quick hands again by Plymouth already in the ball game. First turnover, here is Skiles giving it inside to Wendell, and it's a 2-point lead for Plymouth. If you have not seen Plymouth play, stick around. They are an interesting ball club to watch.
First 2 minutes, 3 minutes ought to be very important here.
Bradley, or I beg your pardon, Ronaldo Thomas getting his first 2 of the game. We're tied at 2 for the first time. Wendell missing. Oh, he did get it. Got the roll. Bill Wendell with 2 field goals on 2 out of 2 shooting. So 3 shots have gone up, 3 have gone in. And it's a 4-2 basketball game with a minute gone in the first period. This is for all the marbles in Boys State High School basketball in the great state of Indiana. Garland looking for help. His 20-minute guard is David Dorsey. This is Dorsey. Good position on the rebound from Barry Peterson. Joe Sexton, I'm amazed the way Plymouth boxes out with no more heights than they have.
Well, they must do that or else they don't have a chance on the board.
That shot that time by Skiles. In a hurry comes Gary Roosevelt. Tie-ball game again as Ronaldo Thomas gets his second bucket of the night. Thomas shoots 48% on the year. That's about where he was this afternoon on 6 out of 13.
Both teams are playing a man-to-man defense. Barry Peterson has drawn the assignment of Ronaldo Thomas.
Good move by Skiles. He missed the shot, but the foul was tabbed on David Dorsey. That'll be the first on him. It'll be a shooting violation. That means Scott Skiles will go to the line.
Let's watch David Dorsey now. There's a fake by Scott Skiles, number 22. Right there's the shot. Put him on the arm.
Skiles earlier this week, as we come back live, was named to the United Press International All-State team. He'll probably be on every All-State team they come up with. He had 30 points in the semi-state finale against South Bend LaSalle last Saturday night. A week ago tonight in that big win.
There's some big-time college coaches in the audience tonight. His performance this afternoon widened their eyes a little bit more.
Skiles, a 77% free throw shooter. 8 out of 12 from the free throw line today. He is 2 out of 2, and Plymouth goes back in front now, 6-4. We've had 2 ties, 1 at 2, 1 at 4. Roosevelt has yet to get the lead. Thomas missing, and there's the rebound by Scott Skiles. They fill the lanes beautifully. It's tapped away, I believe. Garland got a hand on it. Well, he turned it over on a good defensive play from Todd Samuelson, who I think may have thought he committed a personal foul, but instead he caused the turnover.
Plymouth is really breaking here, and I'm a little bit surprised at the tempo they're establishing.
Well, I got a suspicion. Now, check me out on this, Coach. They might want to see if they can run Roosevelt since they played the second game today.
If they think they have that advantage, if they think that it is an advantage to play the first game, I'm sure that's a possibility. But Hilliard and I were talking, Jerry, before the game. They'll sneak around on a fast break a little more often than you think.
Turnover by Plymouth gives the ball back to Gary Roosevelt. We are at 6-4 now. Plymouth on it, front by 2. And a whistle away from the ball as it goes into the middle. And a reaching in foul is called on Phil Wendell. Now it's number 1 on Phil. It's a common foul. No shots involved. So Gary Roosevelt will inbounds beneath their own hoop. That is the coaching staff across the way of the Plymouth Pilgrims. Head coach Jack Edison. Mike Pettibone out of Ball State's the varsity assistant. Tom Eisenbarger from Butler is the JV assistant. Here is Garland. Winston Garland getting his first 2 of the day. He had 9 points, 2.5 points above his scoring average. We are tied for the third time of this ball game at 6. 5:25, first period. Capacity crowd on hand, or nearly so, at Market Square Arena. Skiles wanted it, couldn't get it. Wendell tries it, couldn't get it there either. Good rebound position that time by Ron Sissel. Quickly up court it comes to Dorsey. Not a particularly good shot. Dorsey goes to the floor hard. And Sissel's got it right side. I think I gave him credit for the rebound for Roosevelt. It should have been Bradley. And Plymouth goes back in front by 2 again. Both of the cheering sections are directly behind Hilliard and Joe and I. And they're really making some noise. Dropped inside and taken away again by Scott Skiles. They try to go to Bradley. Quickly up court right side, Samuelson. Plymouth has its biggest lead now at 4 points at 10-6. And well, I'll tell you, Joe, I don't know if it's by design or not, but they are getting that baby out and humming it up the court.
There's no doubt they must feel that the coaching staff must feel that they are able to run the Panthers. Now, the big problem will be to get the basketball to run them, but they've been doing a pretty good job so far.
Double dribble, turned it over again. If you were not with us earlier today, the game between Evansville Bossy and Gary Roosevelt, from the time they came on the floor to warm up to the time they walked off at the end of the final buzzer, they ran and ran and ran. That may be one of the reasons that Jack Edison's got his ball club out running hard. 3 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the first period. It is Gary Roosevelt trailing by 4, 10-6. Almost a turnover. Recovered by Samuelson. Now it is a turnover. Here comes David Dorsey behind the back and up and no good. Missed shot from Ronaldo Thomas. And a 2-on-1 break, and Plymouth do just enough to pierce into the game plan and talk it on over. Samuelson from outside has his second bucket of the night. And it's a 12-6 basketball game. Plymouth out in front by 6, and timeout called by Gary Roosevelt. With a score 12-6, Plymouth over Roosevelt. One of your network sponsors is Bar Bureau Insurance. 63%. Gary Roosevelt 43%. Not bad on either side of the ledger. But right now it's been Roosevelt hustling to get back on defense. Plymouth taking it right at him. They force Garland into the middle and knock it away from him. Samuelson, they fill the lanes. Near side, Skiles, bump, gets it across the way. Up and good. And that's Phil Wendell's third bucket of the night. Wendell now with a half a dozen points. Unselfish move by Scott Skiles, who also passes pretty well, Coach. He's noted as a shooter, but he also gives the ball up pretty well.
Yes, he's got 2 of the assists to Phil Wendell already here in this first quarter.
8-point lead for Plymouth, 14-6. Not anymore. Ronaldo Thomas getting his third bucket of the contest. Thomas a good shooter at 48%, but very quickly Plymouth gets back up court, and the foul is called on Ronnie Bradley. Maybe it's time, Joe, for you to comment on this. You said it during the timeout. Roosevelt's just not getting back on defense.
No, they certainly aren't. They probably anticipated they'd be able to rebound better on their offensive board, and they haven't been doing that. Plymouth has been doing a real good job, and they're looking up the floor on every opportunity that they get the basketball.
Phil Wendell is in the top 7% of a senior class academically. Indiana Basketball Coaches Association All-Academic Team for 1982. Young man's a good student in addition to being an outstanding basketball player. He has 7 points, looking for 8. Plymouth is 4 out of 4 now from the free throw stripe. As a team, they shoot 73%. This afternoon, they hit 75% of their free throws. And it's a 16-8 lead again. Back to the 8-point differential. Ronaldo Thomas. Rebound picked out by Plymouth again. A roughly strong, muscular move from Ron Sissel that time. Skiles, 14-footer. I believe, Hilliard, that's Skiles' first bucket of the game, is it not?
It is. He made 2 free throws earlier.
He has given the ball up, as Joe Sexton pointed out, very effectively. Here's the steal again. Barry Peterson, their 6'2 senior, took it away. Up close, they go to Wendell. And Wendell now has 10 points. 4 field goals, 2 out of 2 from the line, and Plymouth is really doing a number on Roosevelt right now. They lead them 20-8 with 1:52 to go in the first period. Plymouth can shoot the ball all night long. Garland gets it outside. Maybe that'll cool things down just a bit. Plymouth over the year averaged 75.9. This is a ball club with nobody taller than 6'2 in the starting lineup. They got a couple of subs, 6'4 and 6'6, but we didn't get a chance to see them today. Oh, good move by Wendell again. Left-handed shot, no good. Follow-up don't go. The rebound in the middle by Ronaldo Thomas. Garland again. Left side, Dorsey. David Dorsey getting his first 2. That cuts the lead down to 20-12. You gotta wonder, Joe, how long Plymouth can keep this pace up. 55 seconds, first period. Skiles in trouble. Threw the ball away. And that's one of the few bad plays we've seen Scott Skiles make today.
But only 3 personal fouls called in this game. 2 against Gary Roosevelt, 1 so far against Plymouth.
Anthony Stewart coming off the bench now for Roosevelt. Joe, you might tell the people what he did this afternoon.
Well, Anthony came right out there and made about, 4 baskets in a row. Ended up being the leading scorer.
That's right, with 14 points. Did Anthony Stewart, a 5'11 junior. Here's the ball knocked away and a foul call. It's against Plymouth, and they are pointing.
That foul is on Plymouth's number 42.
On Barry Peterson, I believe.
Watch a nice pass in here now to Bradley. Peterson comes over to help. 2-shot foul now for Bradley.
As we come back live, Ronnie Bradley goes to the free throw line for Gary Roosevelt. Bradley's a 38% shooter. They're just not a very good free throw shooting club. He was 0 for 1 in this afternoon's win over Evansville-Bussey. Bradley had a brother, Jim, on the 1970 East Chicago Roosevelt State Championship club. Missed them both. Rebound cleared out of there by Ron Sissel of Plymouth. 34 seconds to play, first period. Sissel Bring it back outside, long range to Samuelson and Skiles. 25 seconds in the half, first period. Skiles, great move. Skiles now with 6. Down to 10 seconds to play in the first period. Oh, great defensive play that time by Plymouth. Loose ball on the floor. 4 seconds. 3. They can't see the scoreboard. Garland gets it away, and it's good, and it counts. Winston Garland at the buzzer makes it a 22-14 ball game at the end of the first period. Plymouth leads Gary Roosevelt. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank. Into the state finals with a win this afternoon, of course, over Evansville-Bosse. They won the Gary Sectional over Wallace and Wirt. Gary Regional beating Hammond and East Chicago Roosevelt. On the West Lafayette Semi-State with a victory over Western Boone, Anderson, Madison Heights. Plymouth got here with a win in the Plymouth Sectional over Bremen and Argus. Plymouth Regional over Manchester and Elkhart Memorial, being down by 14 in the fourth period against Elkhart Memorial. On the Fort Wayne Semi-State over 2 tough teams, Marion and South Bend LaSalle. And, of course, earlier today beat the Irish of Indianapolis Cathedral High School. In the second period, tap is controlled by Gary Roosevelt. After one period, it's 22-14. Plymouth out in front. Evans going by Phil Wendell, who had 10. Roosevelt had just 3 players scoring. Garland and Thomas each with 6, 2 from Dorsey. Of course, Garland got that bucket right at the buzzer to pull them to within 8. Put back up and good by Ronaldo Thomas. Thomas now with 8 points. Drops the lead to 6 now. Plymouth had a lead as high as 12 in the first quarter. They look just sensational.
Well, a defensive change now for the Panthers. They've gone to that 1-2-2 defense that they used in the fourth quarter this afternoon.
Whoa, Skiles was looking to go to the shot, and Wendell was going to the board. Skiles changed his mind, went to where Farrell was. He was no longer there, so the turnover gives the ball back to Gary Roosevelt.
Plymouth hitting 69%, 9 of 13. Gary Roosevelt, 7 out of 12, 58%.
Pretty good shooting. Roosevelt basketball with Anthony Stewart. No good this time. Rebound pulled off by Plymouth. Larry Peterson. Skiles to Wendell in the corner and back to Skiles. Here is Wendell. And Skiles about 20 feet out. Out of the bottom and out it comes. Ronaldo Thomas 3-on-2. Skiles is back. Wendell is back. Wendell got him, and the bucket will not count. Oh, my. Oh, my.
They want that one.
Yeah, take a look at this, Coach.
All right, fine. Ronaldo Thomas taking it on the drive now. There's Phil Wendell right there. He's up in the air. Could very well have given him that basket.
Inbounds pass to Garland. Hey, whip it around to the weak side, which isn't weak very long the way this Plymouth ball club plays. In the middle, Thomas, no. Rebound to the floor, put back up, and finally is good by Ronnie Bradley. Bradley getting his first 2 of the game. Bradley, a senior, standing 6'2 and a half. We commented on his weight this afternoon. He's got a lot of that to move around, but he gets the job done very well. Over the back as Skiles stopped right at midcourt. And Stewart could not stop, so Anthony picks up his first. Team's third. Hill inbounds at middle court across the way.
Here, the last time down the floor was the first time that the Roosevelt Panthers showed their offensive rebounding prowess. And they got 2 of them and finally got it in the hole.
Keep an eye on this Plymouth ball club and see if they're going to run out of gas. Well, they came out like a house of fire. Wendell. Oh, Samuelson or Peterson trying to drop it inside. And just simply threw it over the outstretched arms of the intended receiver. And maybe it's my imagination, Joe, but it looks like Plymouth may be dropping down a notch in speed.
They certainly are. They're all breathing pretty heavy out there right now.
5:40 to go in the half. 22-18. Plymouth out in front. They've led by as many as 12. Game was tied 3 times at 2, 4, and 6. And since then, it has been all Plymouth. And is Anthony Stewart. He hit 6 out of 11 from the field this afternoon and led Gary Roosevelt coming off the bench with 14 points.
8 straight Roosevelt points here.
5:15 to go in the half. The lead that once was 12 has been chopped to 2. Peterson in trouble, throws it back to Skiles again. They got a perimeter offense on out there now, Joe. They're not making any penetration effort at all.
Yeah, they did this a little bit this afternoon.
Fast play to no avail, and a foul indeed on Ron Sissel, number 1 on him, and the 4th against the Plymouth Pilgrims.
All right, let's see. There's a backdoor play right there. There goes Skiles up for the shot. And then there's Sissel coming over the back right there.
It's a good play, Joe, but nothing, wasn't a very good shot. It was an open shot, but he just didn't shoot it very well.
This afternoon they did it a little bit. It's just to get their offense started, to hang on the ball a little bit, and then they go back door and try to hit Skiles or Wendell.
You pointed out earlier in the game today with Plymouth and Cathedral that Skiles was not hitting that corner shot early, but he got it going late in the contest, later on in the contest.
Sure did.
22-20, trying to tie it. Good position on the rebound, put back up, and it still will fall. Finally tapped up and good by Ronnie Bradley. Bradley has his first 2 buckets of the night. They've all come here in the second quarter. And Hilliard, the string has run out to how many now for Roosevelt? They run up.
They've run 10 straight points off.
Oh, great strong move by Scott Skiles, getting his 8th of the game. Ball game again as Anthony Stewart answers the call at the other end of the floor. Ball game tied at 24. 5th time it has been tied. 3:55 to go. First half, and the Pilgrims throw it away again. Plymouth is not the kind of a ball club that makes very many errors. They're a very disciplined offense, but they're seemingly having some troubles right now.
Well, what they're doing now is they're trying to force it. Earlier in the game, they had a numbers advantage on Gary Roosevelt. Now they do not. Gary's getting back, but they're still trying to force it a little bit.
Good block out underneath with Scott Skiles. Skiles is trying to run the offense. He keeps yelling for some of his teammates to come out and help him out of that guard spot. 3.5 minutes to go in the half. 24 tie. After Plymouth was ahead by 12, they have now come into a tie situation. You see Skiles directing traffic. .305 to go first half. 24 tie. Plymouth in white, Gary Roosevelt in the black uniform. That substitution is Jamie Johnson, number 50, a 6'4" sophomore. Played this afternoon and scored 8 points. Almost lost it, did Johnson. Manages to find a handle on it. Down to 2:40 to play in the half. Samuelson goes back to Scott Wendell. He got it to Sissel, and Ron's got his second bucket at 4th point. They worked it well. Took a long time to get there, but they got the job done. Number 4 is Andre Anders, who's in the lineup now for the Gary Roosevelt Panthers. Foul is called on Phil Wendell, and I've got it for 3. And they may not have any choice, though. They may have to go to the bench here.
Here's Anthony Stewart now taking charge again. A nice drive. And there's Phil Wendell reaching in.
Here comes the substitution. It'll be Mark Stukenborg, who played today. Very limited action. Did not score. Number 44, 6'2" junior. Phil Wendell going out, as you see, with 3 personal fouls. And here is Anthony Stewart at the free throw line for the Gary Roosevelt Panthers.
We have him down for 91%. He would be the best free thrower on the team. He hasn't taken all that many, however.
Hit 2 out of 3 in the win this afternoon over Evansville Bosse. 26-25. Plymouth out in front. They're looking to tie for the 6th time. And the rebound instead comes down to Scott Skiles. S-K-I-L-E-S. Make note of that. This young man may have a tremendous college future in front of him. 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go, first half. 26-25, Plymouth, 12-point lead, dwindled down to 1. Indeed, it was tied about a minute ago. Not really a four-corner, Joe, but it kind of has some similarities.
Yes, and they fly someone in opposite side wing. When the ball's on one side of the floor, somebody will break into the high post, and then they'll go behind their man for a backdoor.
1:35 to go in the half. 1-point lead for Plymouth, 26-25. If they're running a 12-point lead, get away from it.
Is this as much to rest as anything else?
Well, I think they were losing the tempo of the game there when the Panthers went on their roll. And so now they can rest, but they can also dictate who shoots this ball. Only Wendell or Skiles will have the first opportunity to shoot. Now, the last time Wendell had a chance, but he dumped it off right at the basket.
We have come down to exactly 1 minute to play in the first half. It was 22-14. At the end of the first period, Plymouth had a lead. It's now 26-25. That is really the kind of scoring that Plymouth has come up with. Only 4 points during this period. Skiles, yes. And Joe called it. They wanted Skiles to take it. He got it. Scott now with 10. He and Wendell each have 10, though Phil got all 10 of his in the first quarter. 40 seconds remain. First half. 3-point lead, Plymouth, 28-25. Andre Anders, not free. All called against Plymouth.
It'll be charged, I believe, to Ron Sissel. That would be number 2.
And on Ron, that is number 2, correct, Hilliard. And now we'll go to the free throw line. The former number 13, Ronaldo Thomas, UPI All-State team this week. The only starter back from last year's Gary Roosevelt Ball Club. In fact, he is a 4-year starter for the Panthers.
Fortunately, he didn't have to make the team by free throw shooting.
Well, he's 1 out of 6 today.
A 28-25 lead, 3-point differential. 19 seconds to play. Plymouth has the lead. Pilgrims have the basketball, and their cheering section just going bonkers behind us back there. They've been yelling for about an hour now. Down to 8 seconds to go. Scoreboard at Marcus Arena is tough to see while you're on the floor. Outside shot is good. And the first couple of points of the game for Mark Stukenborg. His first 2 gives Plymouth a 5-point lead at halftime. Halfway through the state championship game, it's Plymouth 30, Gary Roosevelt 25. We'll be back with some very special halftime ceremonies for you in just a moment. First, one of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Are being presented at halftime to the teams defeated in the afternoon round, Indianapolis Cathedral and also Evansville Bosse. Quickly, the scoring for the Plymouth Pilgrims. Todd Samuelson has 4. Barry Peterson did not score. Ron Sissel has 4. Phil Wendell with 10, all in the first period. Got into foul problems, is out of the lineup at the moment. Scott Skiles 10, and Mark Stukenborg getting the final 2 points of the first half for Plymouth, leading 30-25. For Gary Roosevelt, Ronaldo Thomas has 8. Darrell Scott did not score. Ronnie Bradley 4. Winston Garland 6. David Dorsey 2, and 5 points all in the second period off the bench by Anthony Stewart. Unusual scoring pattern to the ball game as Plymouth went out to an early lead. They got on top 20-8, and finally Roosevelt came back, and Gary tied the count at 24-24. Plymouth regained lead 26-24, 28-25, and the final basket of the first half, Mark Stukenborg, at the end of the first half, has made the final score at halftime here, 30-25 in favor of Plymouth. Plymouth over Gary Roosevelt halftime. The medallion presentation continues to the runner-up teams. Evansville Bosse, presentations by Ginther Herzog, Fort Wayne Concordia, chairman of the IHSAA Executive Committee, and David J. Herbert of Mitchell. Cathedral presentations made by William L. Shepard of Carmel High School, Don Elder, Monroe Central assisting. Here's the ceremony with Tom Carnegie.
Athletic Director, Don Hess. Ladies and gentlemen, there they are, 2 great teams. Let's welcome them both. For the Irish of Cathedral and the Bulldogs of Evansville Bosse. Executive Committee of the IHSAA is pleased to have in attendance at the finals recipients of the coveted Gimbel and Truster Mental Attitude Award. The Mental Attitude Award has been presented each year since 1917 to a state finalist in grade 12 who was nominated by his principal and coach, and having excelled in mental attitude, athletic ability, scholarship, and leadership during the 4 years of high school. Here tonight to greet this exclusive group of men, Ward Brown, the commissioner, Phil Askew, Commissioner Emeritus, and the members of the 1982 Executive Committee. I know you're going to be thrilled to see these great winners, but please hold your applause until all have been introduced. First, from Martinsville, the year 1917, Claude Curtis. Next, from Thorntown, the year 1919, Walter Cross. From 1920, Bedford, Harold Laughlin. From Indianapolis Shortridge, the year 33, James Seward. From Jasper, the year 34, Arthur Gosman. From Richmond, the year 1935, James Leibold. From Evansville Bossy, the year 39, Jim Myers. From Madison, the year 41, Donald Serber. From Lebanon, the year 43, Dave Laughlin. Next, Robert Crite of Florida, 1946. Pat Klein of Marion, 1950. Bob Jewell, Indianapolis Addicts, 51. From Tech High School, Joe Saxon, 1952. Terre Haute Gerstmeyer, Harley Andrews, 1953. 1954, Bobby Plump, Milan. From Lafayette Jeff, Robert Perigo, 57. From Crawfordsville, Richard Haslam, 58. From Kokomo, 59, Jimmy Rail. From East Chicago, Washington, 1960, Robert Cantrell. From Garfield of Terre Haute, 63, Greg Samuels. From 64, it's Huntington's Michael Weaver. Next, from Washington, Eddie Bach, Washington of Indianapolis, the year 65. 1967, Fort Wayne, South Side, Charles Nelson. 1968, from Gary Roosevelt, James Nelson. From the year 1970, Lagones, James Trout. Next, from Newcastle, the year 71, Jerry Lamberson. From Franklin High School, the year 1973, Gary Aplana. Next, Don McLaughlin, Franklin, 1974. 1980, from Marion, Jeff Todd. And finally, from a year ago, 1981, Vincennes Lincoln's Carl Donovan. Now they're all in formation. There they are. From over the years, the Gimbel and Custer award winners who accepted the invitation. Some of the greats in high school basketball. Let's give them a salute.
A standing ovation from 17,400 basketball fans for the Gimbel and Custer Award winners. A mighty impressive ceremony. Last February, in the IHSAA Girls Tournament, the parade of girls champions over the preceding decade. Equally impressive then as this ceremony is tonight. Halftime, it is Plymouth 30 and Gary Roosevelt 25 in the state championship game. We'll be back in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Roosevelt game, the Pilgrims lead it by 5. Joe Sexton was one of the great stars honored moments ago, and it was a thrill, Joe, to see everybody. But I got an added thrill seeing you being introduced here as the former Crester Award winner, along with some really great athletes and great basketball stars.
Well, there certainly were. It was a big thrill for me. The only thing about it is, it doesn't seem like too many years ago that I was playing, and here I am now. I'm one of the oldest guys that received the tribute tonight.
I'll make you feel younger. I was broadcasting when you played at Indianapolis Tech and won that award. I make you feel younger.
Thanks. That makes me feel a lot better then. Yeah.
Let's talk a little about the basketball game. The tempo surprised us a little bit. I thought Plymouth tired badly in the late stages of the first half.
It completely surprised me that they were taking the ball to Gary Roosevelt, and I certainly agree with you. It looked like they were having a hard time breathing, some of those young fellas from Plymouth. And I think the whole secret now is, can they hold them off on the boards? Are they going to be strong enough? They have a 5-point lead. It's like a racehorse, that gets out in front. Can he hold them off? See, and that's what Plymouth is going to have to do, and that's what's going to be exciting about this second half. Can they hold the Panthers off in this second half? And it's going to be awfully hard to do.
We'll be following it with you and your expert commentary, Joe, and thank you very much. That was Joe Sexton, and we'll be back at Market Square Arena with more before the start of the third period in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Pilgrims, they are led in scoring by Phil Wendell and Scott Skiles, are outstanding guards, each with 10 points. You see that Phil Wendell, though, has picked up that third personal foul. Sissel and Samuelson each with 4, and Mark Stukenborg off the bench has the other 2 points. That's the Plymouth scoring in the first half. For the Gary Roosevelt Panthers, they're scoring somewhat better balanced, I guess. Ronaldo Thomas with 8. Winston Garland with 6. They had 5 points off the bench from Anthony Stewart, 4 out of Ronnie Bradley, 2 out of David Dorsey, the other starting forward. Darrell Scott did not score. Nobody, as you can see, in any serious foul trouble, as Roosevelt committed only 3 personal fouls in the entire first half. Now, here are the first half team statistics for the Panthers on your left. They're hitting 12 out of 23. That's 52%. 1 out of 5 from the free throw line for a very miserable 20%. For Plymouth, 13 of 19 for a remarkable 69%. 4 out of 4 for a perfect effort from the free throw line. Rebounds 11 to 10 in favor of Plymouth. They are being led by Barry Peterson and by Scott Skiles, each with 3. Ronaldo Thomas has 5 for the Gary Roosevelt Ball Club. Turnovers are 6 and 8. Plymouth turned the ball over 8 times. And to the assist bracket, you can see that Plymouth's moving the ball very well. 8 assists, with 4 of those belonging to Skiles, 3 to Phil Wendell. Halftime score again, 30-25. Plymouth in front after leading by as many as 12, indeed ahead by 22-14 at the first quarter stop. Joe Sexton, I believe that you and Hilliard Gates touched on it. The big story of the second half, as far as we can tell, is going to be, can the Rabbit outrun everything else that's chasing him out there?
That's exactly right. That's a great way to put it, Jerry, because that's what they're up against right now, but they have a 5-point cushion. We have to keep that in mind. They are up by 5, so they can dictate the tempo.
Would you expect them, Joe, to start full steam ahead, or maybe they'll go to that slow-down offense a little bit?
I would expect them to start just like they did at the start of the basketball game.
Well, we shall see as number 42, Barry Peterson, a 6'2 senior for Plymouth, will step in to jump against 6'4 senior Ronaldo Thomas, the leading scorer for the Panthers of Roosevelt.
Wendell is back in, Joe, and I noticed the Plymouth ball players seem to get their color back. They seem to be a little more pink.
Second half tip controlled by Gary Roosevelt, looking to pick up their 23rd win of the year against 5 defeats. They had the worst record coming into the Final Four, but they're playing for the title. Plymouth is 27-1 after the victory over Indianapolis Cathedral earlier today. Over the shoulder, Joe, you talked about this a dozen times in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks you and I have worked together.
Yes, sir. We got David Dorsey going to go over the shoulder here of Scott Skiles. You can see.
Automatic foul.
Yes, sir.
That is on Anthony Stewart, foul number 2. It's only the 4th against the ball club in the entire game in the first of the second half. So as much movement as we have had up and down the floor, they have still only committed 4 fouls in the entire game. 30 seconds into the third period. 30-25 Plymouth. They come to the near side, off the glass and short by Samuelson, and a rebound picked out by Ronaldo Thomas. Roosevelt on the run. Whoop, they lost it away. No foul, just a loose ball out of bounds. It belongs to Plymouth. Ronaldo Thomas, you see on your screen, had 38 slam dunks this year. And he is quite an athlete. He had 25 points against Anderson Madison Heights in that West Lafayette semi-state championship game of a week ago tonight.
Scott Skiles was looking at the officials, signaling offensive foul. He couldn't believe none was called.
Skiles has got it to the free throw line. Went to get the rebound and alertly stayed away from the foul as the rebound came down to Anthony Stewart. We played a minute here in the second half, but nobody has scored yet. Plymouth, in that first period, had a 12-point lead. They were on a tear. And then things kind of cooled down, and as we pointed out, they ran out of steam. Stewart, no. Good position on the rebound, put back up and good by Ronnie Bradley. Bradley now with his 6-pointer. He averages 5.5 per. He had 6 this afternoon. Bill Wendell, no place to go. Back outside to Skiles. Skiles is having some trouble right now. He just is not shooting very well. In the first half, Skiles at 4 out of 7. That's over 50%.
Might have been a violation of the timeline there.
Well, they've changed their rule a little bit this year. You got to really watch that timeline situation. Not quite like it used to be. Winston Garland, now with 8. He had 6 points in the opening period. Was given the old goose egg in the second 8 minutes of play, so he adds 8. His average is 6.5 per. He had 9 in the win over Evansville Bossy today. It's a 30-29 ball game. And now, all of a sudden, Roosevelt's got a chance to get their first lead of the game. Oh, great move by Anthony Stewart. Well, Joe, I don't know how they kept this guy out of the starting lineup.
Well, maybe he's better coming off the bench.
He has been sensational in this tournament. It is now a 1-point lead for Gary Roosevelt at 31-30. They have outscored Plymouth 6-0 here in this third period. I'm double checking, and I don't think that any time in the first half did Gary Roosevelt have a lead. No, they did not. That's the first time right there. They have really bottled up Scott Skiles. As a matter of fact, well, I thought they'd call a foul on David Dorsey. Dorsey ran Skiles clear off the floor, now has picked up the foul. I don't know if we can possibly isolate on that, but keep an eye on number 5, David Dorsey of Roosevelt, and Scott Skiles, number 22 of Plymouth. Joe, I saw the official talking to Dorsey as Skiles went clear off the end of the floor down there. I thought maybe I missed the whistle.
It was kind of noisy, but I don't think Scott got knocked as hard as he...
I think he may have done some acting, I agree, yes. But it is fierce. They're really trying to put the pressure on Skiles. They've got it in now to his one-he-made guard, Bill Wendell. 5:11 to go, third period. Here is Skiles. Rebounded beautifully by Ronaldo Thomas. 1-point lead for Roosevelt, and they turn the ball over. Apparently, Thomas got it on his hip that time.
Exactly right. It got caught on his right hip, and he just couldn't handle it.
Seen that call 2 or 3 times today, as a matter of fact. Bill Wendell, the first team all-conference the last couple of years at Plymouth. He needs 41 points to reach a 1,000-point career plateau. He had only 8 today, so he's not likely to reach that. 4:54 to go, third quarter, 31-30 lead. Gary Roosevelt, whoops, inside and threw it away. Todd Samuelson turned down about a 12 or 15-footer on the left side. Trying to get it to somebody coming baseline and threw it over their head. Plymouth, I think Joe needs to get their act put back together again just a little bit.
He tried to hit Scott Skiles, cut to the basket, then just threw it a little too high.
Thomas forced the shot. Rebounded by Skiles, who's the team's leading scorer and rebounder, 7.1 per game, and he had 7 in today's win over Cathedral's Irish. Jump ball, 5 seconds.
Very good defense here by Gary Roosevelt.
It will not be a jump ball. It'll go over to Gary Roosevelt. What is going to happen? And Plymouth wants timeout. 4:17 to play in the third quarter, and at 31-30, Gary Roosevelt lead. Plymouth still has not scored in the second half. We'll continue after this message. Hilliard Gates and Joe Sexton. This is Terry Baker, courtside at Market Square Arena, downtown Indianapolis, the state championship game. It's for all the marbles in high school basketball. 31-30 is the lead. Gary Roosevelt has got 2 more. Ronnie Bradley, now with 8. Bradley a 5.5 per game score over the seasonal haul. There's the story on your screen. 3-point lead. That's the biggest for Roosevelt, and right now they seem to be taking over this ball game. Into Skiles. He's got it, and he is fouled. And guess who got him? David Dorsey. We told you about that little battle. That's getting fierce down there.
Here's a nice pass. As Skiles goes backdoors. The pass from Wendell now. Watch this recovery now in body balance when he goes up. There's the foul on the arm right there. Beautiful.
The assistant coaches for Gary Roosevelt are Ronald Broom of Kentucky State, Glenn Miller of Kentucky State, and Benny Dorsey out of Wiley College. Benny Dorsey is David Dorsey's father. And he has just gone out of the lineup. There he is right there. He'll go over and set near Dad on the bench. Skiles missing that free throw shot. He's a good shooter. He's 2 out of 2 to that point of the game. Scott now with 12 points. That field goal he made, by the way, was the first for Plymouth in the second half. So they went about over 4 minutes without scoring. Strong power move by Ronaldo Thomas again. It's to me like, Joe, that Thomas wants the basketball right now.
He certainly does, and they're looking for him. And because Plymouth is tired, they're not covered up inside.
Skiles missed it. Having to get it back. Over to Samuelson, and now it goes over to Skiles when he made it guard Phil Wendell. Wendell takes it in for the 12-footer. Wendell getting his first bucket since the opening period of play. Now he has 12 points. He had 10 in the first quarter. Up and over, and give the hoop to Darrell Scott, his first 2 tonight. Well, the fans aren't buying that little act, but he got it anyway, and the officials were right on top of it. Wendell again. 14 for Phil. Make it 37-36. Roosevelt lead at 1 with 2.5 minutes to play. 2:35, third period. Well, they're putting them up from everywhere. Last touch by Gary Roosevelt's Winston Garland. There was the head coach of the Gary Roosevelt Panthers, Ron Heflin, 43 years of age, married. He and his wife Carla had 2 youngsters, Kelly 5 and Ron Jr. 3. Graduate of Gary Roosevelt High School, Tennessee State, and Indiana University. Now here comes Roosevelt, 2-on-1. Excellent move that time of Ronaldo Thomas, and a good no call by the official. Never touched him. Stolen away by Garland. 3-on-2. Garland protects the ball as he had it knocked away from him. Thought he might be caught with a double dribble.
Earlier in the game, and in this afternoon's game, Plymouth would have recovered that ball, but they're so tired they cannot get to it. They cannot get to a loose ball.
Roosevelt played the second game in case you didn't keep track of such a thing. And if anybody should be tired, it should be Gary Roosevelt, because they got caught in the track meet with Evansville Bossy, but Hilliard, maybe some of that state championship track team is rubbing off on these guys here.
Right, and they're also deeper than Plymouth. They went to their bench pretty heavy in the afternoon game.
Hilliard and I did the telecast of the state finals last year at track, and this Gary Roosevelt team is just super. There's a strong power move in time by Ronnie Bradley again, and Bradley, who had 4 points in the first half, has 6 in the third quarter, total of 10 and a foul call. It is on Darrell Scott, his first, the team's 4th in the second half, so as of yet, a common foul and no shots involved. We should point that out, Hilliard, that the Gary Roosevelt track situation is just remarkable. Their records over the year are sensational in the world of track. And Ronaldo Thomas is the captain of that track team.
Right, and he was on the 400-meter winning relay team a couple of years ago that clinched the championship.
Defensive play, knocks it away from Scott Skiles. Off the glass and good by Anthony Stewart. He has 9. Young man averages 5.5 per game, and now it is a 43-36 game with Gary Roosevelt just simply taking command. Foul call, Darrell Scott. That's 2 in a row on him. That is the 5th team foul, so now we'll start the shots. And that might be a factor here because Plymouth thinks to get all the points they can get when that clock is stopped. With 35 seconds remaining in the 3rd period, they trail by 7 points. Nobody's had, well, I shouldn't say that. Plymouth had a 12-point lead in the 1st period.
Last Saturday night, South Bend LaSalle led Plymouth 58-50 and lost the game.
Yeah, Plymouth is a good come-from-behind basketball team, but they're a very tired ball club right now. Skiles with 13 points. They beat Elkhart Memorial in the championship game of the Plymouth Regional after being down by 14 in the 4th period. You see Andre Anders coming back in the game. And last Saturday night, they won the Fort Wayne Semi-State, beating South Bend LaSalle by 6, 77-71, after being down by 8 points in the 4th period. Also back in the lineup for Plymouth, number 44, Mark Stukenborg. Skiles, second of the bonus. Oh, they threw it away. The rebound came right down to the hands of Darrell Scott. And he had number 10, Timmy Knowles, and number 4, Andre Anders, right out there, threw it at them, and nobody bothered to go get it. So the turnover gives the ball back again to Plymouth. Pilgrims have led all the way up until the final couple of minutes ago, and Rufus kind of caved in on him. Wendell, at his own rebound, puts it back up again. Rebounded by Skiles, blocked away, foul call. It is on Gary Roosevelt. And it'll be on number 24, Ronnie Bradley. That'll be 2 on him.
Here's a nice rebound here on this missed shot by Skiles. He's going to go up, and there's the foul right there. Bradley, number 24.
Scott Skiles is in the top 1/4 of his class academically. He was all conference in that Northern Lakes Conference the last 3 years. And as Hilliard mentioned earlier, he is an outstanding baseball player, all conference at shortstop the last couple of years in the Northern Lakes Conference. 2 shots for Skiles.
Too tired.
I was just going to ask you if that's a problem, Joe. He doesn't seem to be putting it up there with any kind of motion at all.
No extension.
Got the roll. Skiles now with 14 points. He had 10 of those in the first half. We're down to the final 10 seconds of period number 3, and it's 43-38. Gary Roosevelt with the lead. Now to grab a quick look at the scoreboard. Down to 3-2. And the corner, there he is, Anthony Stewart. Stewart with the 11. And with only 8 minutes left before we crown a champion, it's Gary Roosevelt 45, Plymouth 38. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.